All right, Shalom. For the first, we give our prayer, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemel Shai, Bashan Harakak, and Asbaka Thumb. The honor to the apostles of the elder great millstone, to the across the globe, pushing the virtue we see, I want to say Shalom. Sunday morning, man, 10 o'clock, 10:06 to be exact, and maybe a lot of people getting up, getting ready to go to church. You know, they want to feel good. You know, that feel good sermon on Sunday sermon, feel good story, you know. And, you know, with the recent events and the current events that's going on, you know, not only here in America, because Trump had just announced that he wants to have ICE agents all across the country. You know, so that persecution is going to be stepping up. The oppression is definitely going to increase. You know, and this is further in prophecy. You got the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's not talking about negotiating, and you know, this is just not a time to be all giggly and bubbly. You know, this is a time to gird up our loins, to get ourselves right with Yahweh Shemel Shai. All right, to increase our faith, increase our strength. All right, and comforting through these scriptures, man, we might have hope. Hope in what? Hope in salvation, that the Lord protects us from these coming calamities. This is Ezekiel 2, and start at 9. And look, and when I looked, behold, a hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein. Right, because back in the ancient days, we had papyri, you know, with paper, where paper from, and they used to roll them up, you know, like you roll up a newspaper, beat a fly, roll it up and tie it. You know, that's what they call the Dead Sea Scrolls, right? Those are our books. All right, those were our books. It says, and ultimately, not ultimately, but this is talking about the scriptures. Okay, verse 10 it says, and he spread it before me, and it was written within and without, meaning the front and the back, and it was written therein lamentations and mourning and woe. So this feel good Sunday sermon that we're going to hear, a majority of these pastors who are have a 501c3 charter are not going to tell you about the lamentation, mourning, and woe. And if they do, you know, it's going to be diluted. It's going to be not in depth, all right, and totally not being understood and broken down the correct way, all right, because the only people that's going to have is going to feel good is the elect of Israel on this go around. The 144 and the 1/3 is going to get delivered by Yahweh Shai. Now, yes, there's going to be a lot of brothers, some brothers that's going to be facing these calamities. There's going to be some brothers facing these FEMA camps. All right, we said we have tribulation 10 days, but be not afraid. Don't worry, man. Scripture said, be not afraid, not him that's able to destroy the body, but able to destroy the body and soul and leave it in hell. You know, so these things that are prophesied about, yes, some brothers are going to go through them. All right, but in the day, the Lord is going to deliver us and deliver them. Okay? Let me read this again. And he spread it before me, and it was written within and without. And there was written therein lamentation. Let's go into so many words. I'm not going to make this long. I kind of want to do another one, you know, but follow the spirit, right? Lamentations. Let's get the word lamentations. I mean, dirge, elegy. Let's see what that word dirge. Hold on, let's see right here first. It says, okay, let's get this word. Dirge is a slow, solemn song or a poem expressing deep grief, specifically performed at funerals or for the dead. Lamentation is a broader, more passionate expression of sorrow or wailing. Both are used to honor the deceased or mark profound loss, with dirges being specifically funeral orientated. All right, so there's going to be a lot of death, man. There's going to be a lot of slow singing and flower bringing. But there won't be no flower bringers, man, because there won't be no funerals, man. All right, the amount of death and the amount of bodies on these streets, nobody's going to have time to bury them. All right, this is not going to be a kumbaya get-together party when Yahweh Shemel Shai returns, man. All right. That's Lamentations, right? Let's get the word morning. Morning. A rumbling, growling, moaning, a sigh. All right, people gonna be sighing, man. Why? Because of the atrocities, because of the famine, because people are going to be without help. You know, you're gonna see. You think the homeless is probably not. Wait until these troops start coming in and they're stuffing everybody into these centers. All right, there's gonna be a lot of sighing and moaning and grief. Families being separated, children, elderly. All right, are going to be dispersed. Their body's going to be dispersed all across this country, man. All right, they're going to be looking for bread. They're going to be looking for shelter. They're going to be looking for peace, comfort, and safety, but there will be none. All right, he says there's no peace, save to the Lord, to the wicked. All right, that's talking about Esau, but you people out here who have ignored, misused, blasphemed, okay, bear false witness against Yahweh Shemiah Shai prophets, all right, his anointed ones, and you're going to be sighing, you're going to be moaning, you're going to be groaning, all right, with disparity, okay? The doctors and the hospitals are going to be closed. You're not going to be able to get your medical attention that you therefore seek. Hyperinflation is coming, all right? You're not going to be able to drive your cars for prices being too high. Bread is going to be too high, okay? And if you don't take the MOTB, which is the mark of the beast, you're going to definitely be alienated and X'd out of society, man. Okay, that's why we we're talking about get your mind right. You gotta get your mind right. Prepare your mind. All right, prepare your spirit. Prepare your closeness with Yahweh Shemiah Shai. All right, that He keeps you from these woes. All right. And woe, we all know what word woe means. Wailing. Okay, lamentations. All right. There's gonna be a lot of destruction, a lot of broken hearts, a lot of crying, a lot of perplexity on people's faces, paleness on people's faces, weakness of the bowels. All right, when Yahweh Shemiah Shai fully unleashes His wrath and judgment upon this place, man. This is something that's been foretold. It's something that's been prophesied. Okay, this is in the fruits of the labor, the fruits of the work of Esau, Edom, in America are coming to fruition, man. And this is the book where you're able to seek, right? If you have that function, if you have that eyesight, what the elder talked about it on a Friday Night Live show, to see these things, okay? Verse 8, or Isaiah 30 and 8. So now go write it before them in a table and note it in a book, all right? You go to that table in that book again, right? You got to read out the scriptures, man. That it may be for the time to come, forever and ever, right? This is Isaiah talking, okay? All right? And we know that the Bible, these scriptures are manifold. We know that it's prophetic, okay? And so many things were said aforetime, all right, which the prophecies are being fulfilled in a later time, okay? It's talking about, I'm not going to get it, it's talking about since the father fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning. So people are going around thinking that they were prophesying a time that are far off, Now this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord. All right, you people are liars. You say you love the Lord. You say that you are a Christian. You say that you're a good person. All right, but you don't do the things that He says. Okay, you don't want to hear the word of Yahweh Shemiah Shai. How it's not acceptable for homosexuals to be in a congregation. Or how it's not acceptable for you to be celebrating these pagan holidays, having Halloween and Christmases and Christmas trees in your church. All right, which is far more thing. Ultimately, it's a false doctrine. Okay, it's that the whitewashing, the iconoclasm that you have portrayed of our Savior Yahweh Shemiah Shai, they're being portrayed as an Edomite. You see, verse 10, it says, "Which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits," right? And you remind me of the account with Micaiah. You see, who prophesied, who didn't prophesy good thing. I forget what Ahab, I want to say. Okay, but the point being is that the prophets are always say that we're ants at a picnic and a rain in a parade. All right, nobody wants us around. Why? Because we tell the book is written of lamentation, mournings, and woe. All right, we're not telling you it's going to get better. All right, it's going to get better when Yahweh Shemi Shai takes down his kingdom. All right, put Esau in captivity and issues and makes New Jerusalem. All right, a praise in the earth. All right, which is going to happen. All right, more in detail, more and effectively more known, more manifested. Okay, when we get into the kingdom. All right, into our own land. All right, we're not telling you that it's going to be okay. All right, we're telling you it's going to be opposite. All right, let's get this. Prophesy of corn and wine. Let me see. All right, this is Micah 2:11. It says, let me see. Micah 2:10 says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. I'll destroy you even with a sword of destruction." And we have to be brainwashed. We have to wash our brain from the lies and the and disinformation that we have been subscribed to all these years and all these generations being an Israelite. Okay, in America. All right, this place is nothing but confusion. It's full of robberies and lies. Okay, they were taught lies. They have taught us westernized Christianity, their westernized version, their oppressing version of the scriptures, man. Okay, so first thing we have to understand is that we've been lied to, that we've been misinformed, we've been bamboozled. Okay, we've been led astray, all right, by the doctrine of devils, by the doctrine of our suppressor, oppressor. Okay, and we got to free your mind. All right, he said, if you shall subdue your own understanding. Okay, which is only going to happen by the Spirit of Yahweh Shemi Shai when it rests upon the elect, the chosen ones of Israel, who you ordained from the beginning to teach this word. All right, and he's going to destroy you even with a sword of destruction. Why? Because you're still attached to this world. You're still attached to the vain philosophies. You're attached to your way of living. You're attached to your ideology. You're attached to your comfort, man. Okay, and in your comfort, all right. In the Apocrypha, I'm not going to get it. It talks about these scourges, all right, they thought was peace. You think this is gonna, you think dying in the streets and having these sicknesses and having these burden of heaviness and sorrow, you think that's the way to live for us, man? Okay, all right. You thinking that this is life. This is not life. This is a death. All right, and those who don't follow the Lord are living a death style, man. And you're going to get the fruits of your labor, man. All right, the works of your hands are going to be recompensed to you. Ultimately, it's going to be ICBM missiles. All right, verse 11 says, "If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie, saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and of strong drink, he shall even be the prophet of this people," man. So the Lord has ordained you for destruction, man. But you can't hear the truth. All right, there's not going to be a peace and prosperity coming to America, much less the world, man. All right, with the current rulership in authority, Job 9:24, with the current status of the land, with the violence in Israel. All right, there's not gonna be strong drinking, corn and wine, man. There won't be no laughter and free of burden, free from labor, free from oppression. All right, until the Yahweh Shemi Shai comes back, man. So going to these churches, going to hear a feel-good doctrine, all right, you're being lied to. All right, thus saith the scripture, man. Thus saith Yahweh Shemi Shai. You know, so with that, I'm gonna say call Allah, Yahweh Shemi Shai. Yahweh to the apostle of the elders of the great millstone. Next time, Shalom and a Baba Ball.